Well, we've watched an awful lot of film on Yale, and we knew they were a very good team coming in. They're a very well-coached team. They don't get real complicated, but they do what they do extremely well. And their guy at the face-off today, I thought, was tremendous. He gave them so many possessions. We just couldn't get the ball at our offensive end of the field, especially in the first half. And the few opportunities we did get, we got some good shots off. I think we got some goals. But we just didn't have a lot of opportunities. Fortunately, we had a couple more opportunities in the second half, and we got some great stops defensively, especially with this guy in the cage, Evan Malloy. To have 15 saves in a game like this when they had so many shots. I think they had 42 shots on the day. So it's a great effort by these guys up here and Evan to make some great saves going down the stretch. And like usual, we came out on top with a one-goal win.
When you look back at a game like that, you're like, how did we end up winning this game?
Well, if you look at, if somebody had shown me the stats before the game, I'm not so sure it would have been Syracuse on top on the scoreboard. But the guys gutted it out, and again, I think we played some very good defense going, down the stretch. And Reeves was tremendous. Once again, he's a terrific player, and he's their motor, and he's a great one.
Evan, 20 shots in the first quarter toward you and 42, like Coach said, altogether. What do you think kind of went right for you today as far as stopping all those shots, 15 saves?
I think just defensively, we were giving up shots I could see. I think the difference was I was seeing the ball well inside, so I made a couple of those, and that kind of added to the total. But really, it was just a great team defensive effort. I don't really think any middies got any chances off the dodge. Our D middies were great today. And Scotty played great on Ben Reeves, and he's just a great shooter. Honestly, I'll take the blame for probably all those. So everybody just played their best game today, and that's why we won.
Nick, a lot of chirping back and forth at the beginning of the game. How do you keep your emotions in check in a game like this, in such a high stakes pace game?
Yeah, that's just going to happen. It's the first round game of the NCAA tournament. You're going to have a lot of emotions and a lot of energy. You just got to channel it in and just be able to make that next play and just not really get into your head about it. So that's something that coaches preach for us, and I let myself get out of hand a little, and Coach Desko definitely let me hurt it, but I learned my lesson, and that's it.
Stephen, when you saw your shot hit the back of the net, what went through your mind?
Just that we had a great opportunity to win at the time. I knew there wasn't much time left on the clock, and we kind of knew our defense would step up big. They've been playing well all year and played well all game. So, it was just an exciting moment. It was really just the whole offense working well together.
Stephen, could you kind of backtrack and just recollect, big time goal for you, what you saw and how you were able to get that open look there?
I think it was just me and Jordan were behind at the time after we had gone through kind of a longer offensive set. I think I had the short stick and was trying to get Jordan to get the short stick by setting him a pick. And the guys at one point I think it was a miscommunication on defense. They kind of just both went to him, just like one step, and then Jordan found me. And then I did an easy job of just finishing it.
John, moving forward, you can't be giving up 18 points for face-offs in the tournament. Expected, last. How concerned are you about the face-off situation right now?
We'll get back to it. Coach Downey will get back to it tomorrow, and they'll be watching film. And if you to lose that many, sure, it's a concern. But I thought this guy was really good today. The officials were really quick with the whistle, and this guy, we scouted him to kind of roll through, and we were hoping to get a couple of violations, but the officials were so quick on the whistle, it kind of played into his hands. But he did great, and he also got it out to himself. He got it out so quickly that he could pick it up himself, and our wings couldn't be effective. We wanted to turn it into a ground ball so our wings could get in there and have a shot at it. And he was so good at getting it out, we didn't have those opportunities. But I think how we made up the difference is the lack of turnovers. I think we had 4 turnovers on the day instead of 17 like we did a week before. We were perfect on the clears. So we did some of the other things that we had to do to be really efficient when we did have the ball.
Evan, when you're facing so many shots, especially early on, does that help you get into the game and realize, maybe it's just going to be on me this game?
Yeah, I definitely prefer that. You know, sometimes we play teams who want to slow the ball down. They had really long possessions, honestly, to start. Sometimes teams slow the ball down and they really just try to jam it inside, and I don't really get to see a lot of shots. And then, you know, we're kind of playing behind, and I need to make saves. And if I let an outside one go in, you know, it's a bigger deal than if, you know, teams are just shooting a ton and I get to see the ball a lot. So the 20 shots in the first quarter weren't really overwhelming. It was more of a kind of a good thing for me because, you know, Eric Scott's a great shooter. He took the first 2 shots of the game, and I felt on him. And, you know, that kind of built up my confidence, even though he didn't hit the cage. And then I was just seeing it the rest of the way.
You know, Coach, can you talk a little bit about what you saw from Evan? Obviously, the amount of shots coming toward him and the amount of possession time from the faceoffs.
Yeah, well, you know, I've seen that in practice, and you know, we've practiced a man up against a man down in the zone offense against the zone defense, and you know, we're always on offense, so we're always getting shots. And sometimes he'll frustrate our own guys, you know, in a man-up situation or in a zone offense because they've worked the ball really well, and we're getting really high percentage shots, and he's stolen them from the offensive group. So I've seen it before, and as you touched on earlier, that sometimes when you get those shots, you just get in the flow, and especially when you're getting them consistently, and you get in the flow, and he was huge for us tonight.
Evan, your coach mentioned that if you look at the stat sheet and see the scoreboard, you know, you have to tell that maybe he won the game. Moving forward, you know, you've been asked so many times about the 1-goal games, how sustainable it is. Now you're going to playing Towson, whoever after that. Is it an effort like tonight and a result like tonight sustainable with these type of, you know, numbers? I mean, how much harder can you make this sort of thing run?
Well, if I have to step up for my teammates, they're confident that I can do it, and I'm going to do my best to do it. And that's just what it is. You know, you guys are kind of talking about Benny not having a great night, but there are countless times where I'm not having a good night and he's playing his heart out, and you know, he helps us win games. So if someone's not performing the way they want to, we have guys who step up for each other, and sometimes it's as simple as the offense and defense, and sometimes it's a face-off guy and a goalie. And you know, he's had my back so many times, so I had his tonight, and I'm sure he'll be working his butt off this week to get better. And I mean, I will too, and if I'm asked to make the stops, I'll try my hardest, just like I've been doing all year.
For John, how was Danny Varela today? It seemed like, especially late, he won at least a couple of face-offs.
Yeah, he got on a couple fairly quickly, and then Danny he needs to keep working on the other half of that. I think he won one and got it out to Schwaznick pretty quickly, and I think he just needs to pick it up and run with the ball. But you know, you get anxious, and especially a 1-goal game like this. You know, the couple that he did come up with, he wanted to make something happen right away, and he just needs to calm down. And you know, he's got some game experience, but not a lot. But he's a very good changeup for us. He's got quick hands, and he'll keep getting better.
Nick, what was the changing moment of this team, or better yet, the talk in the locker room being down and, you know, kind of them dictating the pace of this game?
I think it was just, you know, coming out fired up in the second half. I know we let in a goal, but we came out right away and scored right after it. So, you know, whenever they got a run, we kind of had to hinder it. And just, you know, offensively, we did our job, and we moved off ball better than I've seen all year. We got a lot of guys touches, and a lot of guys scored. I think 9 guys scored goals. So, you know, for an offense, that's incredible for us to do. And we just got to go right back to the drawing board tomorrow and just get ready. You know, that's really it.
John, what do you know, first 10 seconds of the review, what do you know about Towson, and what can you tell us about this game?
Very strong defensive team. The times that we've scrimmaged them in the past, they've been pretty patient offensively. They do well. We'll see who the face-off guy will be this week. Could have a potential injury there from watching the game. So, you know, it's another well-coached team. You know, I know Sean, and he's done a tremendous job there, and has done a good job recruiting. A little bit like Yale, where they don't do a lot of crazy things, but what they do extremely well, and they beat a pretty good Penn State team to get into this round.
And Coach, you know, in the second half, obviously the turnaround with the defense causing more turnovers and all that. Was there anything you kind of told them to change, or maybe Coach Rogers told them to change that keyed the second half turnaround?
No, we wanted to make you know, number 2 work to get the ball going down the stretch and limit his opportunities. And I thought that the guys played really good defense on everybody else. And you know, if you look at their stats, number 5, number 45, their whole midfield unit has been scoring all year. 2 of their guys in the second midfield have double figures in goals. So I think that the rest of the team played pretty good defense on these guys, and when they did have an opportunity, this guy made the save.
John, 3 more points for Jordan Evans today. Last week you said he's playing some of his best lacrosse. How big was he today, and how big can he be next week?
That was big. I thought, the whole, we've talked about him helping us, run the offense and telling the other guys within the offense where to go and when to be there. That's a huge help. And, that last week, again, we had, too many turnovers. We wanted to be efficient when we did have the ball, and to only have 4 tonight was big. And, some of that was the decisions he made going down the stretch.
And Nick, I'm curious as to just your thoughts on Evan. Obviously the first half, you guys didn't have as much offensive possession time, but getting all those saves and getting it down to, and you guys are perfect on your clears. How big is it for a guy like Evan just to make all those saves? And
yeah, I mean, when a goalie makes early saves, he gets hot, and that's something that we try to prevent for the other team to do. And Evan was making the saves that we needed him to do, and in the second half, he didn't really have to make as many, but he made the crucial ones that we needed. And the defense stepped up for us, big time in the second half. And if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be, happy right now. So, all the credit goes to them. And, I shoot against him every day in practice. And, he gets in my head, I get in his head. And, it's fun going against, one of the best goalies in the country.